of the presentation did this timeline, and I picked like some sort of milestones that I kind of thought might be interesting for you guys. So most people like coming in outside, like when they think about the Finnish game industry, they obviously talk about Angry Birds, they talk about Rovio. These days they also talk about Supercell, about Clash of Clans and so on. But the truth really is that this industry has been here many years before even Rovio got started. It has been here more than 20 years. And personally, where I kind of why I think it got started here is that I think we have to go back to the very early 80s actually, and that really, as you guys know, was the beginning of the kind of home computers as a kind of a hobby. So you had computers like MSX and Commodore 64s, if you guys, some of you guys may remember. And you know, people asked, and those became immensely popular in this country. And people ask, like, why do you think that is? And I think the best answer is that, you know, just look outside, especially at this time of the year. It's dark, it's cold, it's wet. So what else? What could be better than, you know, staying inside and playing some great computer games with your friends? So that's my personal theory why it got started. The first game that kind of came out from our very small industry at the time is a game called Sanction. There's one Finnish guy who developed that for a UK-based publisher, and that was in 1986. And that, like, I guess, like, that's where we kind of the history of Finnish games industry begins. Then one extremely important, if not the most important driver of the industry over here is an event called Assembly. Which the first one, which I was held in the early 90s. The first assembly took place in I believe in an elementary school, in a kind of a gym of that school, and this year again, as has been the case for the past many years, you're going to host assembly in the biggest stadium of Finland, in Hartwall Arena. It's like I think 13,000 people will come in for that event. But I'm going to talk a bit about that in a minute. That for me is one of the pillars on top of which our industry stands on. In 1995, the first like true games companies were founded. And the really great thing is that many of these companies still exist. So you guys would recognize names like maybe Remedy, like a company behind games like Max Payne, Alan Wake, and then, you know, they are working on this upcoming Quantum Break game. There's a company called Housemarque and so forth. And they're like founded around that time frame, and as I said, they still exist. Then I was eight years old when this game came out. I joined the industry in 2000. I came fresh out from the university, and that's when I founded with my friends my first company, which I'm going to talk a bit about as well.